write an estimate from start to finish. We went over the steps that we recommend for you to approach your claim. First step was to do the claim info, make sure the claim information was correct. Next step was to label your photos. We're going to do that right now. These are my photos. I'm going to go ahead and label them. This is going to be my front elevation. This is going to be my right elevation. This is going to be my rear elevation. This is going to be my left elevation. Here's going to be my roof overviews. I'm going to back up here and see if all my overviews have labels on them already. But I do want to do multiple at one time, so I'm going to select this, this, and this, and this. They're going to be my front slope. In this photo in particular, I want to point out also damaged shingles. See if I spot any other ones in any other photos. This, and this is going to be my right slope. This and this. And this one. It's going to be my rear slope. And finally, this and the remainder ones going to be my left slope. A couple of them I'm going to point out individually. This one I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to put previous repair to let my file reviewer know that there's shingles here that's been repaired, and there's damaged shingles. I'm going to point here to the damaged shingle. Here's my damaged shingle again. Same one. Actually going to call it out. Need the first one. I believe it's the same shingle. Yep, same shingle, different angle. Previous repair. Also put it down here in the description. Previous repair. I know it seems redundant. We want to make sure this is a well-documented file. Okay. You also want to note on your photos when there is no damage to point out. You want to also put that in your description. For example, here, you put it's not listed here, but you would put no damage found at the time of this inspection. You would copy that and you would add that to every last one. Okay, all the photos are labeled now. Now you're going to go over to the floor plan. And I'm going to use these scope notes here as the basis for my estimate. These scope notes would have been created by you, the adjuster, when you inspected the site. And we're going to use this as the basis for our estimate. So here we have second floor master bedroom. Of course, in the drawing, we only have one level. However, I took the convenience of just naming a room according to the scope notes. So here we have drywall ceiling is damaged. The entire ceiling is texture. Okay, so I'm going to put this in estimate mode. I'm going to decrease this window here on the side. Also going to decrease this side to give me more working room. I'm going to go to my batch. I'm going to find my interior batch. I'm going to go ahead and begin estimating. So, master bedroom, all the ceilings are damaged. There's damage to the drywall. There's damage to the 3 1/4 baseboard. And the carpet floor needs to be changed. So, I'm going to go down my list, copy content manipulation. That would apply. I'll drop it in the bedroom. Masking and prepping. That would apply. Protecting the floor. I'm going to need a dumpster for this entire project. Let's say dump truck single axle would be good enough. Now notice I'm clicking on the labels as well as the line items. So you can bring over your labels as well to add it to your estimate so you don't have to create a label later on. Okay? So you can click on the label and drag it, and that would add it to your estimate. Here it comes down to the ceiling now. Ceiling needs to replace. We know there's, we want to add antimicrobial. You want to add insulation because there is insulation to the ceiling. Drag it and drop it. Then you got the ceiling to repair. Drywall, tear out, replace. I dropped it in the wrong spot. Let's see if I applied it here. Yep, applied it by mistake. So I'm going to go ahead and just delete these. I dragged and dropped it in the wrong spot. Ceiling, hold the control, select my line items, bring it in, and drop it. Is the ceiling textured? Yes, it's textured. What type of texture? I grab my title here, and I'm going to do knock down. Now notice it's only replaced because remember you're ripping out the ceiling, so you're not going to be ripping out the texture. Grab it and drop it in. Ceiling paint. These are gone. So I'm going to have to go ahead and locate these on my own because it won't allow me to put it in. So look for prime. I don't want to do prime and paint. I want to just do prime. Prime, ceiling. Here we go, prime only. Now I want to paint the ceiling. Now I'm going to drag it over here. I don't want to do all walls and ceiling. I just want to do the ceiling. So I'm going to bring it here, drop it on the C. Okay. Now I got drywall repair. I'm going to go back to my batch. Check these guys. No longer using them. Now in this master bedroom, do I have a light fixture? I think so. Drop and drag a light fixture. I'm going to have a heat register, which is a vent that your air conditioning come out of. Smoke detector, more than likely. And a ceiling fan. You're going to tear out and replace the ceiling fan because we're replacing the entire ceiling. Okay. It says damage to 3 1/4. Now we got damage to the drywall. There's no exterior, well there is exterior walls here. We got 1, 2, 3 exterior walls, so there's going to be wall insulation. And the damage we're going to apply antimicrobial to the area that's been damaged. We're going to use rigid insulation. I'm going to drag it. I'm going to drop it on that wall. We're not doing the entire place. It was only 25 square feet. So that's how much insulation we're replacing, 25 square feet. Drywall, we're going to click the title, drag and drop it on the wall. I noticed that it doesn't give you the option. That's because I clicked the title with it. Let's just drag the title by itself, drop it in there, and now let's grab the drywall. Now it gives you the option. They say we drop it in this area, but it's not 20, it's 25 square feet, but the entire wall is 28. So let's just replace the entire wall, that wall itself. Then we're going to apply the texture. We're only going to replace the texture because we're ripping out the wall already, and apply it to this wall. It's not giving me my drywall painting, so I'm going to go and look for it. Paint. Drywall. I want to do 2 coats. Looks like it just wants to give me 1 coat. Take it. Got the comments. This includes 1 coat of primer and 1 coat of finish coat. We don't want that. You want 2 coats of paint. All right, paint ceiling or walls, 2 coats. We'll apply it to this wall alone. Then we're going to go back and take that 1 coat of paint and apply it to the remaining walls. And you apply it to the walls, you notice how it highlights the wall. Now all the walls are painted. There is damage to the carpet and the baseboard, so we're going to do the carpet first. Go back to my batch, scroll down, get down to the part where it has the carpet, bring over the title, carpet good, carpet replace, and we're going to replace all of the carpet and the carpet pad. Now we're going to scroll down to baseboards where they have all my baseboards blocked out. That's okay. We're going to bring in the title. We're going to go and find baseboards. This is neither one of these are the baseboards I'm looking for. I'm going to type in molding. Base molding. What should we have here is 3 1/4 base molding. I'm not looking for painting. It's only giving me a painting option. We're not looking for that. So let's back up a bit. Go back to our search. Eliminate painting. Base molding. Still giving options only to paint. Look at here, database is incorrect here. So one falsehood that I'm finding here is that my database is out of date. So we're going to go over go to our database and find our updated database, July 2025. I'm going to go ahead and reprice everything and apply. All right, let's get back in here to our floor plan, July 2025 database. Let's look at base molding again. Type in base. Let's see what we have here. Base molding MDF, that's not what I'm looking for. Base molding paint grade, that'll work. I'm going to tear out and replace. How much baseboard is damaged? 25 linear feet. So I'm going to take this, I'm just going to put it on the wall. It said 25 linear feet. Which one's closer to 25? I guess it doesn't matter because I'm going to edit it. And I'm going to put 25 linear feet, that is. 25 linear feet. Now I'm going to paint the base. Paint base molding up to 6 inches. So in this case, I'm going to use prime and paint up to 25 linear feet, and then I'm going to paint the entire thing. I'm going to apply one coat to everything. That does it for the master bedroom. The next one is bedroom 2 upstairs, which we're going to use this one, which we're going to use bedroom 2 upstairs. The damages in that room is texture drywall ceiling damage, only 15 square foot of it. All walls are damaged, there's no texture. All baseboard damaged, all laminate flooring is damaged. Okay, I'm going to go to my batch. Full room replacement. Start with my first content manipulation, masking and prepping. Since the ceiling has texture, we're going to add this extra measure, dumpster. Well, we already put a dumpster in the first one. Now we're going to drag and drop it. Ceiling insulation. There's about 15 square foot of damage. We'll select that. Give it a moment for the circle to disappear. Drag it and drop it. I'm going to edit my details. There's only 15 square feet. Apply. My ceiling. Drag it and drop it. I'm going to edit. Only 15 square feet. 15 square feet. Now I'm going to paint my ceiling. And the ceiling's textured, so I'm going to grab my texture, grab my knockdown. I'm going to drop it in. Actually, we're going to have to do the entire ceiling of knockdown, to be frank with you. Now I'm going to add the paint. I'm going to prime the entire ceiling and 2-coat the entire ceiling. That's it for the ceiling. Now it says all the walls are damaged. So in the ceiling, you're going to have light fixtures, right? Drawing back the first one. Remove and reset the register. And if you have a ceiling fan involved, remove and reset the ceiling for painting. It says that all the walls are damaged. There's no exterior wall here, so there's no need for insulation. I'm going to bring in my title, click my drywall, and drop it in the center of the room. Applies it to all the walls. There's no texture on the walls. Don't have to worry about texture. Now I'm going to paint. I'm going to prime everything and two coat everything. Drop it in the room. Applies it to all the walls. Now the wall's taken care of. Now I have damage to all the baseboard and the laminate flooring. Since the laminate flooring is put in first, we're going to deal with that. We're going to highlight the title, grab the underlayment, and then grab the laminate flooring. And then you have an in-molding as well. That to go for the doors. I'm going to drop it in. Boom. Done. All of the baseboard is damaged. Here's an interesting fact. Now you guys noticed when I did the master bedroom, my baseboard disappeared, right? But now all of a sudden, everything's here. Stability, you gotta fix this. Okay? So now we're going to the baseboard. Baseboard is paint grade. Tear out and replace. No base shoe. Now we're going to paint it. Drop it in. And we're done with bedroom number 2. Now for the kitchen. There's damage to the entire textured ceiling. There's damage to the drywall, 30 square feet. Damage to the baseboard, 30 linear feet. There's damage to the hardwood flooring. And the flooring is connected to the breakfast nook. I don't have a breakfast nook here, so we're not going to worry about that. But I got the entire ceiling, 30 square feet of drywall, 30 linear feet of baseboard, and the hardwood flooring. So let's start at the top. You got my content manipulation always. Got my masking and prep. Floor protection, mask and prep, because I got the entire ceiling coming out. Ceiling installation, antimicrobial, and my insulation, entire ceiling. And I got the drywall ceiling, the entire ceiling. There's texture. Ceiling paint, prime, and 2 coats. It's going to be light fixture. It's going to be a register. Let's stop at that. And you got wall damage. Since it's only 30 square feet of wall damage, I'm going to assume it's not an exterior wall. I'm going to grab it, drop it on one of the walls. Since it can't give me a quantity, I'm going to just drop the wall title first. Now I'll grab the line item, drop it on one of the walls. I'm going to go ahead and edit my details, and I'm going to change that to 30 square feet. And apply. Now I need, it doesn't tell you if the walls are textured or not. I'm going to assume that since the other walls are not textured, this room is not textured specific. Now I'm going to paint my drywall. I'm going to prime my 30 square feet, go into details, apply, and I'm going to apply 2 coats to my one wall where the damage is at, and I'm going to apply 1 coat to the rest of the walls. Now, you may be wondering, why are you doing 2 coats to the damaged wall and 1 coat to the rest of the wall? Well, typically when you do a drywall, when there's a new drywall installation, it requires 1 primer and 2 coats. Since these other walls are undamaged and they already have possibly 2 coats of paint, when you paint 2 coats on here, it's going to look brighter than all the rest of the walls. And you can't have that deformation or inconsistency. So you apply 1 coat to the rest of the wall, which will make it equivalent to the coating, 2 coats that you applied to this wall. So now the entire room looks uniform. Sometimes adjusters want to just drop 2 coats everywhere, but that is not the proper way to estimate a claim. So now we have damage to the hardwood flooring. Let's scroll down to the hardwood floors. We're not dealing with laminate anymore, now we're dealing with hardwood. I'm going to drop my label in there. Notice here it says add-on for delivery and acclimation of the laminate flooring. You didn't know you had to do that, huh? Yep. Add-on for delivery and acclimation. So you have wood floor, oak pre-finished, wood floor engineered oak, wood floor oak clear, and then you have the sand stain and refinish it if you use the wood floor oak clear option. We want to go with the wood floor pre-finished since we're replacing the entire floor. Wait a minute, we didn't drop the underlayment. Let's put the underlayment in first. And now wood floor pre-finished. Notice I have it in the order of the installation as well. What else can we add here? Baseboard. 30 linear feet of baseboard. I'm going to go ahead and drop our title. I'm going to assume since it's a wood flooring, let's say it's going to be paint grade. It could be paint grade or stain grade, but we're going to stick with paint grade because normally they put white. Go ahead and apply it to the damaged wall. Edit it. We want to show 30 linear feet. I'll put base shoe because of hardwood flooring, you use base shoe. Cover up the edges. I'll tear out and replace it. Tear out and replace all of it. And now you're going to paint the molding. Prime and paint all of it. Alright, so this time we cover all the line items that we needed on here. Let's see what our estimate looks like. Okay, you got the content manipulation for the bedroom upstairs. Everything looks good. All the line items that I put in there are there. However, there's some things that are missing here. Number one, the coverages are not in. So we're going to go ahead and highlight all the line items. I'm going to highlight the first line item, scroll down to the last line item, hold shift, right click, go to properties. I'm going to change the coverage. There's no coverage on the entire estimate. All right, so we changed that by going to the law summary, but onto the policy. I'm not seeing coverage here at all. All right, let's go back. Options, estimate totals. Looks like this claim does not have any coverages applied to it. All right, so if your claim does not have coverages applied to it, you'd have to reach out to the carrier to change the setting, because obviously here, when we created this claim, we didn't add coverage to it, because this is sent to you from the carrier. So we're going to assume that all the coverages are in, and we want to apply depreciation to everything. So I'm going to highlight all of them, right click, go to properties, depreciation, select calculate, life expectancy, we're going to make it 10, and now depreciation will be applied. Again, when you receive the claim, the coverages will be built into it, but in this case, when we created it, we didn't apply any coverage options to it. So remember, you always check your coverages, your quantities, and your depreciation. Make sure all of that is applied. Go to your summary, gives you a total of all your claims, and once completed, you go up here in the open right-hand corner, left-hand corner, and you select completed. And this is how you finalize your claim when you select completed. Before you close the claim, make sure your overhead and profit is applied correctly, showing your even the deductible here is not shown because that was not the coverages were not applied. But make sure your deductible is applied correctly. So you don't want to be the one that goes up and finalizes it. You want to leave that to the carrier. And that's how you estimate a claim from start to finish. And to complete this, you will go up to back to claims, and I'm going to send it to back to claims, hit yes, and close the claim. And your claim is finalized.